All right, let's talk about one of the most elegant tricks in all of machine learning, Kernel PCA. Now, we all know and love standard PCA. It's an absolute workhorse, but it's got a huge blind spot. Today, we're going to see how Kernel PCA completely shatters that linear barrier.
Okay, let's jump straight into the problem. On the left, you see where standard PCA is perfectly happy. A nice, simple, linear cloud of data. It can find that main direction of variance, no problem. But take a look at the right. Two simple circles, one inside the other. Standard PCA is completely baffled. It doesn't matter what straight line you try to draw through the middle, you're always going to mix up the inner and outer points. It completely misses the super obvious pattern, because that pattern isn't a line.
So, how in the world do we fix this? Well, we use a solution that's so brilliant it honestly feels a bit like a magic trick. It's called the kernel trick, and it is the absolute heart and soul of Kernel PCA.
So here's the big idea. What if we could take our tangled up 2D data and somehow lift it into a higher dimension, maybe a third dimension? In that new space, our two circles could become two separate sheets, easily sliced apart by a simple flat plane. Now, actually calculating the new coordinates for every single data point would be a computational nightmare. And that's where the magic comes in. The kernel trick lets us calculate the dot products, the relationships between the points, as if they were in that higher dimension, but without ever actually going there. We get all the power of that higher dimensional space without doing any of the impossible work.
So here's the basic game plan, broken down into 3 steps. First, you start with your messy, nonlinear data that you can't separate with a straight line. Second, you apply a special kernel function. This function doesn't move the data, but it recalculates the relationships between all the points as if they were in a much more complex space. And third, presto! In this new conceptual space, the problem magically becomes linear, and PCA can finally see the pattern. Okay, so let's move away from the abstract and get into the mechanics just a little bit. The very first thing Kernel PCA does is build something called a kernel matrix. This takes the place of the usual covariance matrix. We're just going to use a couple of simple points to see how different kernels can create totally different pictures of the same data. For our little demonstration, we've got 2 very simple points in 2D space. We've got x1 at coordinates 1, 2, and x2 sitting at 2, 1. Now let's see how 2 different mathematical lenses, our kernels, view the relationship between these 2 points. First up is the linear kernel. Its formula is just the standard dot product. So the relationship of x1 with itself is just 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2, which gives us 5. The relationship between x1 and x2 is 1 times 2 plus 2 times 1, which is 4. Now, here's the most important part. Using a linear kernel makes Kernel PCA identical to standard PCA. This is our baseline. No fancy nonlinear stuff is happening here. But now, watch this. Let's swap in a much more powerful kernel, the RBF, or Gaussian kernel. This thing thinks about the world completely differently. It doesn't care about dot products. It only cares about the distance between points. Notice the diagonal is always 1 because, well, the distance from a point to itself is always 0. The other value, 0.368, is basically a similarity score. The farther apart the points are, the closer this number gets to 0. It's capturing a totally different kind of structure in the data. Okay, we've seen the concept, we've dabbled in the math, and you might be thinking, this all sounds pretty complicated to actually implement. But, and this is the best part, it's actually incredibly easy to use in practice. Let's see how this all translates into actual code. If you're using a library like scikit-learn, it's really just a simple 3-step process. First, you whip up some nonlinear data. Arc concentric circles are a perfect example. Second, you just create the kernel PCA object and tell it which kernel you want to use. And third, you fit it to your data and then plot the results to see the magic for yourself. And really, this one line of code does all of the heavy lifting. The kernel PCA call looks almost exactly like the one for standard PCA. The only difference is you tell it which kernel you want to use, in this case, the powerful RBF. And you can tweak its parameters. For example, gamma here kind of controls how much influence a single point has. A small gamma means points have a far reach, while a large gamma means their influence is very local. It's really that simple to unleash all this nonlinear power. So, besides just untangling circles, where does this technique actually make a difference? Let's talk about some real-world situations where finding these hidden nonlinear patterns is a total game changer. For sure. I mean, think about cleaning up a noisy image. Standard PCA might just blur everything, including the sharp edges you want to keep, but kernel PCA can often preserve those edges. Or in biology, gene expression data is famously complex and nonlinear. Kernel PCA can find clusters of patients that linear methods would just completely miss. And in cybersecurity, it can model what normal network traffic looks like in all its nonlinear complexity so that any weird deviation immediately stands out as a potential threat. So, to wrap it all up, here are the trade-offs. Standard PCA is fast, it's light on memory, but it's stuck in a linear world. Kernel PCA gives you this incredible superpower to see nonlinear patterns, but that power definitely comes at a price. Because it has to build that big kernel matrix, it's going to be slower and use more memory, especially as your dataset gets bigger. The right choice really just depends on the kind of patterns hiding in your data. And that really brings us to the final, most important thought. Standard PCA is a fantastic tool for finding straight lines. But let's be honest, most of the interesting stuff in the world isn't linear. Kernel PCA gives us a new set of lenses to see all those more complex, hidden structures. So the real question to ask yourself is, what kinds of curves, clusters, and twists are just waiting to be discovered in your data?